Hi, I'm Steve Marsden from Southerton's. Thanks for pushing play. This week I want to talk about phishing, but not the phishing you might be thinking of. This week a work colleague of mine received an email from me that had an invoice attached to it. But what was important is it had my mobile phone number and my email address shown within the email. It looked very real, bar the sender's address. The sender wasn't me, it wasn't my address. And this is called a phishing hack. It aims to gain access to something it doesn't currently have, and hence an email masquerading from a trustworthy source in an attempt to bait the receiver to surrender sensitive information such as username, passwords or credit card details. That's what phishing is all about when it comes to the IT world. There's been a significant increase in phishing attacks in recent years, over 60%. And recently, IT service companies were surveyed and reported that most of their customers weren't prepared to protect themselves against phishing. Won't happen to me. I've heard that happen. I've heard that before. So, and further, many of them felt that these are the IT companies, that they were not confident that their own customers were vigilant enough to spot an email phishing scam. Now, the growth of phishing in both frequency and sophistication is enormous. It poses a huge and significant threat to all organisations. And there are a number of ways in which phishing presents itself. And I'm going to mention a couple to you today. The most common one in the phishing scam is called deceptive phishing, and it refers to an attack by fraudsters who impersonate a legitimate company or a legitimate person, and it attempts to steal people's personal information or their logon credentials. And those emails frequently use threats or a sense of urgency to scare users into action. In the case this week, it had an email that had an invoice attached that was overdue, and so apparently that was going to scare the receiver. The other one is spear phishing. Now, spear phishing scams occur when fraudsters customize their attack emails and their target's name, position and company, work phone number and other information in an attempt to trick the recipient into believing that they have a connection with the sender. Now, the goal is the same: lure the victim into clicking on a malicious URL or an email attachment so that they hand over some personal data. Now, a variation of the spear phishing is also called whaling, and this is where the Phisherman go straight to the top. They're after the CEO of the company, or they're attempting to harpoon an executive. Now, the answer to all this is to prepare your business for this type of attack. Use your IT people to train your people. Make sure your people are aware and vigilant. What do they have to recognise before, when they're receiving any email correspondence whatsoever? Make sure that you have a written IT security policy that is available for all staff to see and discuss. Don't be the bait for the fisherman. Call the team at Southerton's on 4972 1300 for more information on phishing scams and to consider what protection you need in your business. Thanks for listening.